With Grand Theft Auto Online, Rockstar Games is looking to bring the heart of the Grand Theft Auto experience to a living online world with multiple players. Just what you choose to do in that world is up to you. The game combines a persistent and continually expanding world full of personalities.
Welcome to paradise. Oh, that was awkward.
With a wide array of redesigned mechanics. And a huge range of both structured and unstructured activities for you to do. After you fly into Los Santos, you're introduced to the world and its many opportunities for earning and spending money.
You need to better representate yourself, you know what I'm talking about?
Having fun and getting into trouble. You can run around on your own, making friends and enemies. Or band together and form a crew. Then tackle a heist, rob a liquor store, or compete in classic online modes. Or do much more besides. Complete any job, and you'll make money and earn reputation. Then, you can spend petty cash customizing your character, their outfit, weapon of choice, or favorite vehicle. As you make some real money, maybe you can buy an apartment, so friends can stop by and hang out. Or buy a garage, fill it with custom vehicles, and then take them racing by land, air, and sea. Or simply cruise around showing off. Everything you do helps you progress through the world, introducing you to new characters.
Now keep your mouth shut about me, you hear?
New missions, rewards, and almost limitless opportunities. Rockstar will be constantly developing more content for you to enjoy, but you'll also be able to design your own races and death matches using the content creator. Then you can share them with friends and the world. Or try ones other people have made. Grand Theft Auto Online brings the freedom of the Grand Theft Auto experience to multiple players in a dynamic, shared world.
Hey guys, what's going on here? I am with General Zero.
How you doing?
And what you just saw right there was the official multiplayer gameplay trailer for GTA 5. What we've been waiting for since that first awesome trailer came out. I can't even put into words, General. This game is just going to be awesome, and so we're going to give it a very in-depth review. Okay guys, right here, first of all, I'm going to point out we see two types of helicopters. This is awesome because I don't know about you guys, but I love flying in GTA. And obviously that's something you can do in this game. I wasn't very happy with the last GTA because you couldn't fly the bigger planes. But as you can see here in a few seconds, the jet flies by and that's awesome. So you can fly planes in this GTA. I also want to point out the helicopters again. There's two kinds. And that just shows a variety of helicopters. And they also have their own offensive capabilities on them.
Yeah, it's a lot better than just having the Annihilator that you couldn't really aim it at all.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to point out is a large amount of arrows on the road. It's like an updated simulation. It gives the city a livelier feeling. And also right here you can see this guy merge over. And if we all remember in the last GTA games, you're trying to race down the street really fast and then the car just merges right in front of you, makes you wreck. That's probably going to happen in this game too. The arrows,
damn load times.
yeah. The arrows also can indicate like where people are going to go, and that's just awesome.
Yeah, we can see, like, for example, in here, if they're in the left lane, then you know they're going to turn left. So
Right.
that'll always help you when you're trying to navigate the streets and going real fast. All right, so if we look in the middle of the screen by this blue dome-looking thing in a few trees, there's actually a van parked in the parking lot, and you can see it actually came in from that road, given that it's a one-way street because of the angle that it's at. But, you know, this kind of shows that there's actually places of interest that are also of interest not only to the player, but to the NPCs as well. So I think that's actually pretty cool to improve the simulation in that way. You know, it kind of got tiring that there were shops and all these places to see, but, you know, the tellers were just like, our only customer is the player, you know, so it's kind of cool to see that the NPCs are partaking in city life besides just walking on the sidewalk.
That's pretty cool. I remember seeing that in the like launch trailer too.
Yeah, they're really going all out, and it's going to be really cool, you know. I mean, I hate if you can like rob someone or mug someone in a parking lot. It's like coming out of the grocery store, you know. Like, it's just like, I mean, we can rob liquor stores, so, you know, why not that? So if we look at this map as a whole, we can kind of see, you know, there's a lot of detail going on here, a lot of buildings, but what is really interesting at this angle that Rockstar gave us is you can see that the map is rendered from really far distance, you know, and this is actually running on PlayStation 3 graphics and power, yet it can still show us all this detail from such a distance, and it's just kind of great to see that. It's really cool. If we continue a few more seconds and we see the jet kind of fly by, we can see that when we pause it, if you look kind of down on the street, the sun's glaring off the street. And I think that's really neat how the lighting's been improved. And I think I even heard some news that off the engine that they created for Grand Theft Auto 4 or somewhere in there, they probably updated it. But they're really starting to get into lighting and obviously just more detail, but the glare on the street is really interesting. It's not just a static texture anymore. Yeah. And then even from the sun, not just the glare, but there's shadows from the cars. If you look close enough, I know this is in 720, but, you know, you can still see that level of detail, and it's I really like that, you know.
That is pretty awesome. I love that. There's going to be a lot of detail coming up too.
And I know I'm going to spend like half my time just looking at like everything I can see. I'm not like going to take like a good few hours, maybe even the first day, just like go around the city saying, "Hey, that's cool. Hey, this is cool. Wow, these guys got an imagination." And I'm not even going to do anything.
Yeah. If we go a couple more seconds, guys, we can see a number of things right here. First of all, the Chick fast food place. I mean, from the older GTAs, you know, obviously there were places that you can eat, and there's always this like reoccurring chicken in general. I don't know why. They have some like weird fascination with that, but there's also a delivery van, as you can see here in the background. It's kind of quick.
Yeah, right behind the motorcycle.
Yeah. And then, like, as you can see here on the left side by the billboard, there's just all of these signs. So, like we were talking about earlier, just the detail and just the the overall, like, advertisement is definitely stepping up, like, big time.
I wonder if you can go to all those places, too. Like, that would be great.
That would be awesome. I mean, I remember from the older GTAs, like, walking by giant buildings and just not being able to go into them. It was kind of lame, but...
Alrighty, at a few more seconds afterwards, what I find interesting about this chase right here is that you have two cops that are chasing the players, and then you have a van on the right. Now, I first want to talk about the van. If you look at this van or, you know, SUV, whatever you want to call it, it's great because, you know, it actually looks like a real car. You know, it's a modern car. Yeah. It's not just a box on wheels. It's not just, you know, this body that has suspension and just, you know, a few little textures here and there. You know, if you watch it, just go back and forth between the times, you can see all the detail they put into it to make it look like, you know, there was an engineer that was like, hey, this is the most aerodynamic design for this car. And then the other thing is, if you actually look at the police cars, they not only have lights up on top of their roofs, but they actually have them in their grills like you would see
yeah,
in, real life. So I love that, level of detail they're putting in every cop car. Who knows if they're unique, but, that's just kind of interesting to see.
Yeah.
And if we view this scene when the players are going over the bridge and the helicopter is just about to blow up the cop cars, the cop barricade, I want to point out that on the right there's this yellow sign. Now the yellow sign says Lofts Now Leasing, and it has a number. I can't make it out because it's a little fuzzy, but it looks like 5550181 to me.
Yeah.
Now, in the last game, we had a cell phone that we used, right? And we could actually go around the city and there'd be signs and you could call the numbers on them and they'd give you like different dialogue or different options, places you can buy stuff or cheat codes maybe. And I think, now that they're introducing this feature where you can sell and buy real estate and all this stuff, maybe you can get this loft, maybe you can start a business, maybe you can use it for your house or, whatever. Like, what are they going to do with it? There's so much potential behind that now.
Yeah,
and then,
that
like,
would be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. And then if we actually look at the cops right before the missile hits, just look at the cops. I find this to kind of be a flaw.
Yeah.
But, the cops are like, hey, we set up this barricade, but we're not going to duck down behind these cars at all. We're just going to stand there and wait for the player to blow us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, bro, Honey Badger don't care, So I find that really funny. But, all right, let's move on a little bit here.
Yeah. If you catch this right here, I'll point it out. The helicopter has 2 people in it, and that just shows us that the helicopter is compatible with 2 people. Helicopters have always been that way in GTA, but it's nice to know that they're still keeping that around.
Yeah, the thing though with the previous GTA is the fact that you could have 2 people in a helicopter and you could have 2 people up in the cockpit, but now that they have such an ambition, maybe 2 people actually have a purpose, and then maybe you don't just get transported if you're the passenger in the cockpit, or what's going to go on there. So I think that'd be cool to see what goes on.
You can see the car and the motorcycle are consistent with each other, and that might indicate that maybe there's some kind of mechanic that you can do to your vehicle to keep your speed at a certain amount and match speeds with other players. Who knows? Okay guys, if we go a few more seconds ahead, we see a basketball ad, and like we talked about before, it just shows more advertisement. I can't really see the ad or what's on it. I mean, it's obviously a basketball ad. Who knows? Maybe there's a number somewhere on there that goes with the whole cell phone thing. But there's also a red van that passes, and that indicates a number of things. It could be a business. It could be something, you can get involved with. Who knows? But also there's a taxi behind it, which is cool because taxis have always been around Grand Theft Auto, and you used to be able to do taxi missions for people for money, and who knows, maybe you can actually ride in the taxis in this game. That would be cool. All right.
And then if we look at the red van too, it has ladders on top of it. Maybe if you get these vehicles, you can actually use kind of what's attached to them, because we saw in a previous trailer that there was a truck kind of pulling something hitched to it, whether it be an air compressor or a generator or whatever it be. But this is another kind of example of things that you can do with your vehicles. So I think those ladders are pretty interesting.
Yes, indeed.
The game combines a persistent and continually...
Alrighty, we just witnessed a few things. First of all, we saw a few boats go by each other and they made their own waves. But what I find pretty interesting about this section right here is we had this kind of submerged vehicle come up to the surface, and it kind of looks like one of those devices that people used to explore the Titanic with. But what happened is when it came to the surface, it kind of interrupted the waves made by that blue boat in the distance off on the right. So the waves kind of react to each other, and it's not just a layer of a wave on top of a layer of a wave. It's more realistic than that, and I think that's really awesome in my opinion.
I think that's
we
awesome
also we also have a plane, and I can't tell if this is a crowd dusting plane. I don't think it is.
Looks
But
like a
you know,
dodo
you
plane.
never know. Yeah, it could be. It's flying by, and we haven't really seen too many kind of, I guess, domesticated planes. But that's interesting for that to be there. If we kind of look in the background, I really like how they took the environment. First off, the clouds look awesome. We've seen a few different kind of clouds in the trailers, and I just think that the scenery is great. Even the skybox on the left-hand side below the plane, we'll see that there's a bridge, and it looks like maybe a rail bridge. Who knows? We'll probably be able to go over there. And again, there is going to be, we'll see soon enough, a train that will actually be active in multiplayer. And then on the top of that mountain, right in the middle behind the lighthouse, there's actually trees, and you can see them kind of leaning, as if they were really on the mountain, and they're not just, standing straight up 90-degree angle right there. So I think that's really cool. They paid attention to that kind of detail. If we go on a little bit further, we can also see a few things here as well. There's a lot of detail in this picture because you're getting kind of an overview of a combination between civilized areas and still kind of rural-ish areas with these oil refineries. But first thing I want to point out is what I said last time in the last part, was that there's a train. There's a train in multiplayer. I can't remember the last time there was a train in multiplayer for a Rockstar game, especially in Red Dead Redemption. I played the story and I was like, hey, there's a train here. Can we do this in multiplayer? But the train would never be there in multiplayer, and that just made me sad. But now they have it here. And then on the train bridge, you can see there's actually some cables, and there's like different pieces of metal kind of, in the mix of all that scaffolding. So they're really pushing the detail, even though they don't really need to. Like, who's gonna ever look at that bridge and say, hey, I'm a train bridge mechanic, there should be something there? But they put it there anyway. So I think that's really cool.
Right.
And then on the right side and in the middle, there's oil pumping stations, and we can even see on the rightmost one, looks like there's two guys working on it. So there's people that actually have occupations. There's actually purpose behind all this progression and this construction. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's really cool, and I mean, we kind of expected that because we have people in jewelry stores that we can hold hostage and take their jewelry and stuff. But it's still, there's that detail, as we keep saying. There's that detail right there, and those workers kind of just show that off even more.
Yeah. I really like this kind of landscape too, because San Andreas was my favorite Grand Theft Auto. Did you ever play it, General?
Yeah, I mean, I got the strategy guide and everything to it.
Oh yeah. Just the whole, like Las Vegas kind of feeling, as we saw with the previous screen with the lighthouse. I just love the mountain feeling. I think that's awesome, and I'm glad it's in this game again.
Yeah, and it looks like they're actually really doing a great job with kind of blending, the untouched areas and the rural areas with the actual city. I think it looks really cool how they're mixing it up.
Oh yeah. All right, guys, moving on a couple more seconds here. We get a screen with this guy on it. If you remember from the original kind of reveal trailer, he was a guy who helped them out with missions, I believe, General. I think that was...
Yeah, I remember when he was standing up and he said something like, gentlemen, we have plans for your attention, or something like that.
Yeah. This liar, he's not in a wheelchair, he's standing up.
Yeah, but I think this is actually like where he lives. So.
Yeah, oh yeah, as you can see, like in the background, I think it tells a little bit about him. We've got stuff that says the man is watching you with a little Illuminati eye. Ooh. So maybe he's some kind of paranoid guy. Obviously, he sits behind a computer a lot, so that just shows. And he's got lamps and books, and just all kinds of posters. A troll poster. Um, the computer actually has command prompt up on it. I just want to point that out. That's kind of interesting. Also, moving ahead here a couple more seconds, we get a danger high voltage sign. So that points out maybe where this guy is located, what kind of thing. Maybe he's in like a server room, or maybe he's dealing with transformers. We don't know, but that's kind of interesting. And actually moving on here a little bit further, we get this kind of funny. The RPG trail isn't straight, and I don't know why RPGs have this problem. I kind of noticed that in like Call of Duty games too. They always seem to just go whatever direction they feel like at that moment. So obviously in this game,
that's actually how they're supposed to work, because if you look at an RPG head, dude, they don't have any fins to stabilize its directions. It's like a big warhead that's just being pushed by some
that's true
fire.
Yeah. So I mean it gives.
So I mean that's actually how it's supposed to be,
Right, and that's cool. But yeah, moving on here a couple more seconds. We're just gonna pause it right here. We can see that there is rust on the barrel, and that just shows, like we've mentioned many times before, and Will mentioned that there's so much detail in this game. And like General said, even when it's not necessary, Rockstar just puts this awesome attention to detail. And if you look behind these two guys, there's a little Coca-Cola machine. Yay! Maybe a little parody.
I think it's great, though, that they're like standing there arm wrestling, putting their bare elbows on a rusty barrel. Like these guys are hardcore or stupid, one of the two. I don't know.
That's pretty awesome.
But if we continue, we'll see a few things after this guy jumps off the mountain in his bike and takes out his parachute. Now, first of all, there's like a lot of guys here. It's that, like, just inviting all your friends and doing this. 16 people, however many people they're going to give you.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to just see this and be part of that. But when you pause them and you look at the map at just the right time, there's this little blue parachute icon on the map. What does that mean? Does that say, hey, you can get a parachute here, hey, this is where you can, skydive, this is where you can do something like this, that they're actually doing?
Yeah. Maybe they're in a competition of some kind.
Or they're just, screwing around, because I think she says, you can do unstructured activities, which, this could very well be. And I think, it's just kind of interesting that, in the last game, it didn't really seem like there was a lot to do, because, they didn't give you a lot of indications as, hey, this is here, hey, this is there on the map. But now they're kind of telling you, hey, look, here's a parachute icon, go towards that. Or here's your house, here's another paint and spray. There's vehicle icons on maps, so maybe there's maybe that's indicating a armored van that you can heist, or a delivery mission, a whole bunch of different stuff going on there. So it's actually trying to get you to be active and try to show you where stuff is, and I think that's great. I would also like to add on a few things, though, that if you look, everybody kind of has their own parachute. You see, the same few parachutes that a few guys use, but there's 2 rainbows, 2 black, red, and whites, and then a solid red, and then you got this guy's bumblebee looking one and the blue one in the back. There's a lot of different parachutes, and I wonder if you can customize them too. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't, because they're kind of trivial, kind of one-use things, but still, they give you a lot of customization options anyways, so, there's that as well. And then the final thing about this screenshot is, if you wait till it kind of like pans over to the right to see the other 2 guys and their parachutes, you'll see in the background that down by the river there's a trail for cars, and then up top in the midst of all the rocks and stuff, there's another road that kind of winds around the mountain, like you see in all those Cadillac and commercials and all those fancy sports car commercials with the professional drivers going through the mountain tunnels and around those turns, and you're like, I would die if I did that. I think that's going to be a fun test for me, trying to drift around those corners.
Also, check out the water. Look at that reflection. That's pretty awesome, too.
Yeah, and is that like a little waterfall down there? Like just a little white water rafting thing? Like,
who knows?
That looks fun, dude. Who knows? I'm going to go there.
Yeah. Okay, guys, if we go a few more seconds ahead, we notice yet another plane. And this is no ordinary plane. This is one of the big planes. I mean, how many planes do they have in this game?
I think it's just enough for me, to be honest.
Also, I wanted to point out that would be awesome if you could fly that big plane. But also, how many airports are there? I mean, there are smaller planes, so maybe there's like smaller private airports. But there also, obviously there's going to be a big international airport. And that's awesome.
Yeah, and if we look at, these planes are in different locations, dude. They're not always flying over the same part. So maybe you're right. Maybe there is multiple airports, and that would be great. I'm just saying.
That would.
Because that's like where everybody went.
Oh yeah.
When they're like, hey, let's play GTA 4. Where would we go? Airport.
The airport, and hopefully they have ramps. But also, if you look down below the plane, there is a beautiful, massive beach, and as you can see, there might be like a lifeguarding stand right there, but just looks awesome graphic-wise.
Yeah, I can't wait to explore that beach with the lifted truck, to be honest. I just want to drive all over that beach and just yeah, I know, but I just want to raise some dust and then maybe hit one of those rock walls that you see right there. There's stacks of rocks going up there. But that just looks so much fun, dude.
It does.
Alrighty, and then if we take the time to go a little bit further, we'll see that there's two people playing tennis, and the camera kind of looks up at yet another plane. But there's a few things that I want to address here. First of all, we see it looks like a lights, so maybe you can play at night. There's benches off on the side. Maybe we can actually sit on benches now as a player. That would be great. Maybe you could have friends come and just watch you guys play a game of tennis, maybe bet, who knows. And then off on the right, behind all those benches that you see, maybe those are like little stores. It kind of looks like the way that they have those colors and the way they're kind of set up. Maybe there's a whole bunch of different food vendors. Maybe it's not just hot dogs anymore. And then at the back end of the court, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of tarp on a fence. Is that meant to be there to give privacy, or maybe there's construction going behind there, maybe there's transformers behind there, something that you don't want people getting into. But we've seen a lot of construction in all these trailers, and maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, there's also been a lot of construction in recent GTAs too, and history repeats itself, so it could very well be something like that.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe there's construction and it actually gets done throughout the course of the game. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. If we go a few more seconds ahead, actually more than a few seconds ahead, we have this guy standing here talking to another person, and if you look on his hand, he is wearing a ring, and
I think he's wearing two of them.
Yeah, and a watch, and maybe okay. So that just shows character customization is in this game big time. Obviously it is, because I think, the official trailer went over it. But there are a lot of air conditioning units in Los Santos. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, there's one to the left of the door on the right.
Right, so it's pretty hot out there.
Yeah, just like Las Vegas.
Yep.
I had a friend tell me that one time he went to Las Vegas and it was so hot that you couldn't wear shoes with rubber soles because they'd melt on the concrete.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous. But if we go a little further, we see a few things here with the vehicles. First of all, there's a red and white van, and it actually says, I think, Lager Light on it. So they actually have brands of alcohol now. You know, maybe it's not just beer and just basic liquor. Maybe there's like wine and stuff. I mean, that'd be great to just, you know, see that, and maybe I'll actually drink in this game. You know, who knows? And then above the tunnel, there's what seems like a little dish satellite thing, receiver, sender, who knows? But it's spinning there, and you don't really see them often. And if you do in other games, they just kind of, you know, just stay there. They don't really move. But again, level of detail, that's great. If we also look at the tunnel behind the cops, you know, there's always cops. We can see that there's actually lights in there, and it's not just kind of like, you know, random kind of light thrown in there just so players can see. There's actually, you know, calculated lighting, and it just that just looks really cool. I can't wait to actually just go and drive down that tunnel and, you know, see what all that's about. And then if we look at the guy on the motorcycle, we've seen that helmet multiple times now. He's not been on the same bike, but that's the same dude, and I think he has a different helmet than, you know, some other players. So on top of, you know, maybe being able to customize and choose your parachute, maybe you can customize your helmet too, and, you know, your bikes as well. And he had that on the other bike, but, you know, I think it's really interesting. You got the yellow and the red. You know, maybe you can make your own designs. Who knows? And maybe just selection of different accents. But I just find it interesting that there's the possibility of different helmet styles here.
I agree. That would be really awesome, and I am a huge fan of motorcycles too. In the games,
I know you fall off them all the time.
All right, moving on a second here. We can see this awesome, I think it's American Muscle car with no license plate on it. That could mean maybe this car is involved in a mission where you don't have a license plate to evade the cops. You know, they can't track you. Also, I just want to point out the star system in this game looks like it's only 5 stars. And as you can see, there's 3 stars at the moment in this picture, and there's already armored vehicles. But since there's only 5, it kind of makes up for having 4 stars in like GTA 4. So that points out that. Also, the cops in this game look a lot harder to evade. There's even a police helicopter right now. And I want to tell you guys about a video I saw, and I'll link it in the description if I can find it. But this guy had the game early. I don't know how he got it. He was playing as a cop, and if we remember, you can do that in the old game. You can pull someone over and they'll get out, but nothing will really happen. Well, this guy went up to the window, and I think there was some dialogue exchanged, and then the lady drove off or whatever, and he blew her up or whatever you do in GTA. But that was cool, and I'll link that, like I said. Also, this guy driving right here has got some pretty good aim, and if we pause it right here, you can see the cop car get smashed, you know, on like the right side of it, and it's pretty realistic looking. And he gets right through this gap here, and yeah, so like I said, it looks a lot harder to evade the cops, but not for this guy.
Alrighty, in this next scene, we see this guy smashing in the window to what I think is a beautiful car. Now, I don't really like cars that much. I don't understand them because they're just like tin cans. You hit them and they're just like, oh, God, I'm totaled. But this is a beautiful car. And this guy's smashing out the window. Now, as he's smashing out the window, though, we take a look at his clothes. Like, I remember in the last games, you know, you had clothes and they just kind of fit on you and they, you know, just whatever. But you can see that these clothes he's wearing, they actually look like fabric, like laying on your body rather than just, you know, straight lines, and then maybe they add a little bit of shoulder detail there for your shoulder blades or whatever. But these clothes look a lot better than they did in the last game. In the back, we'll also see behind that other really nice orange car that I won right now, there's a big and goods truck or big good G goods truck. So maybe there's different businesses, as we know from the ball sack stock investment. Maybe there's different services that actually mean something. Maybe if you take down big goods, maybe these restaurants in this area that this truck is in, start feeling the impact of that. Who knows? Maybe big goods means clothes, whatever. But I figured, point that out because it has text on it. So, and as we go to this next part, we'll see that the guy is actually getting in this car and stealing it. But then you got these two guys on the motorcycle shooting up the car, and I'm sure this guy's thinking, I just got this car, I can't afford it. What makes you think I can buy a new paint job? Come on, I got to buff out these bullet holes. So I think that would upset the heck out of me. But on the right, there's this text above that window on that building. It says criminally. It's not even criminally. So I wonder what that means. If it's a different language, maybe there's different language districts here. But that's really cool right there.
Might be kind of like a police building, maybe a federal building. Who knows?
Yeah, and I know you can't see it from right now, but to the left of him, there was actually it looked like garage doors, like before we got this motorcycle scene where he's shooting up the car. So maybe you can get that garage, and maybe you can put cars in it, maybe you can sell it, who knows? But, there's a possibility there. And then, of course, something that interests me, as the car is kind of leaving, and we pause it when the tire is, right up in your face. There in the background, there's a huge yellow Hummer off Zombieland, so I'm totally going to get one of those.
I love the Hummers in GTA 4. Those things are like tanks, too. One thing I did want to point out about him stealing the car is on the back of the car. Can you read that license plate? Does that say San Andreas?
I think it does,
but
actually.
That's awesome, but it says Cheetah, and if we remember from earlier Grand Theft Autos, there is a car called a Cheetah, so you can expect it in this game, I'm guessing. Okay, guys, if we go ahead a second here, we'll notice right off the bat what looks to be a bank here on the left of the screen. In the background, you'll notice there's some more advertisement. This billboard has some boobs on it and some sex, because it's Grand Theft Auto, and it wouldn't be Grand Theft Auto without boobs and sex. Also,
and violence.
Yeah, and violence, don't forget that. Also on the right, there's a really cool older looking sign that's going down. It could be a hotel. Who knows? Hopefully you can go inside. Stuff like that. That would be cool. And there's also a delivery truck that drives by. What appears to be a delivery truck could be anything. That'd be cool if you could buy food from it, or you could drive it,
Or you could steal it and then eat the food later. Who knows?
Or that too. We'll notice right here, as it goes on a couple seconds, our characters are wearing masks, and it looks like they're about to rob a bank.
A little bit after this, once the guys actually get in the hotel, we see the guy blast that cop, and then this other guy's taking down the other cop. But what's interesting here is that, the map may be the same as we see, nothing really on it, nothing really indicating except a little house icon. But up on the top, the guy has 1 star, for robbing a bank already. Maybe, what if you do this quietly or get the tellers away from the buttons before they hit them, so on and so forth. Maybe you don't get any stars, but, this, as we can see, this guy kind of desperately needs it, seeing as he only has $2,000. Then down on the right, we see team lives. So it looks like when you have a team and you're doing a mission, even in multiplayer, your guys can only die a certain amount of times. What happens after you lose all your lives? Do you respawn outside the mission? Do you have to wait? Do you have to spectate? What's going on there? And then in the middle, we'll see on the bottom, it says go behind the teller's line. Now, this is actually giving you objectives. So if you choose to do something or be in a heist and steal stuff or whatever, the game actually gives you mission commands, mission prompts, checkpoints, and stuff like that for doing what you're doing, which is, really, really interesting. So, it's not just, hey, I'll do this, and then, there's no substance to these missions. There's actually providing more for you than just going in there and just, hey, whatever. You're actually, looks like you're getting more than just your own personal credit for it. So I think that's great.
That is pretty awesome.
Then I guess we can move on a little bit.
Yeah, let's move on here a couple seconds. You'll notice a lens flare coming off of these lights on the car. And what is that up against the store?
I think it's a bike.
Oh, yeah, it's a bike. Okay. And that might be our Coca-Cola parody again up there. Who knows? Oh, actually, you know what? That says liquor store. So,
yeah.
What does it say? Does it say roll?
Roll, rubes, rules, who knows? Can't really read it.
Who knows? Yeah.
I'm going to find out when we get the
cool
game.
Sign, yeah. Also, there is a deli, what looks like a deli, right next to it. So it's a liquor store and then a deli right next to each other. And so that's
good
pretty
combo.
Cool. That's a good
Sandwich
combo.
and beer.
Nothing beats it. Right here, we will notice that helicopters have searchlights. And I think they did in the previous GTAs, if I remember correctly. And it looks like this guy robbed that liquor store that we just saw, because he was kind of in a running position when he was getting out of there. And so now he is wanted. And if you'll take notice at the top right, he has 3 stars for just robbing a liquor store. We don't know what could have happened.
I guess liquor, dude. I guess liquor means more to people than a bank does. Because they only got 1 star for robbing the bank.
Yeah, liquor is on high demand these days.
All right, and at this part, I believe this is a player match. There's a few things going on here. At the bottom right, we'll see that the time is 49:19. Now, as you keep going, it'll say 49:19 still. So, I don't know. Maybe this is an hour-long match. Maybe it's a little bit longer, but that seems like a lot of time because it's not really going down fast at all. So all I can think of is seconds and minutes. On the top right, you're in a player match, but it's still showing your money. So maybe you can wager money and then fight a group of people. You create crews. It'll probably go into the game very extensively. I don't imagine why it wouldn't. So maybe money has a factor into matches on traditional online matches. And then if you look in the back, there's a huge wind farm. Now we've seen this before, but again, that's just interesting. What happens if we can interact with those wind farms, if the players can actually do something with those little propellers. Maybe we can stop them, cut electricity, something. I mean, I doubt it that it'll get that detailed with player interaction with something like that. But again, it seems interesting to actually see something like that and see the area of Los Santos trying to get clean energy. And then to the left of the guy on top of that trailer, we can see a water tower. A lot of stuff in this game has been destructible, so I'd imagine maybe the water tower can be too, especially in a team deathmatch, where you're instanced to that map and it's not really affecting the overall world. That'd be great to see. And then a few more seconds later, when it goes to that one guy in the white T-shirt and he's blowing the brains out of the other guy, so it looks like a chicken house to me. I mean, I would like to think I know my farms, but it looks like a chicken house, and then there's a whole bunch of other like hillbilly appliances out there. But that's just interesting again to see that this area has kind of like its own character.
GTA and chickens, man.
Can't wait to kill some.
Yeah.
Much more
Right here, guys, we've got a guy playing golf and a couple other guys watching who look like they're playing golf too. That is one of the things that you can do in this game. I think that is so cool. In the original video, it went over like, just tennis, golfing, and like even to hunting, which is like so cool. And I think it's awesome that you can be attacked by animals too. I'm kind of, I'm wanting to see what kind of animals they're gonna put in the game and that kind of landscape.
If they
Also,
have cougars like in Red Dead,
yeah,
I'm gonna flip some shit. I'm just saying. Like
that.
those sons of guns, they take you down and kick
Oh
your
yeah,
ass.
oh yeah. Also in the background, we can see this massive crane, and everyone wants to climb it. You do, and that would be
Yeah,
awesome if you
everybody.
could. And then you just
Especially
jump
if you're
off.
a Battlefield player, you want to climb that crane.
Yeah, you do. Get up there with a sniper. Campers. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, and as we let this roll, we'll see that there's a whole bunch of these guys, I would guess players, rolling into this hangar. Now, this looks like it'd be part of a mission to me because these guys, if we pause, actually, they look like military personnel. You got each one having a vest on, maybe there's some grenades hooked into there, has a sidearm strapped to his leg, so they look like military personnel. And then we have these Jeeps with a lot of lens flare still that are jacked up. They got all these lights on them. They're green. These tires are knobby as hell. These vehicles look like military-grade vehicles that you can actually get yourself, like you used to be able to do in San Andreas. So, if there's military-grade vehicles, maybe there's military-grade weapons. Who knows? But we take a look at the plane behind them, which I think the goal of this mission is to steal this cargo jet, which I think is called the Titan. And we look into the cockpit, and you can actually see that there's some depth there where the player actually is now. Does that mean you can explore the cargo jet? I don't know. Maybe you get in and you can, it'll just automatically take you to the cargo jet. I don't know what's going on. But as we play, we'll see that there's a whole bunch of explosions going on. These explosion clouds look great. I'm just saying, like, the way they disperse the smoke, the way they build up, it's awesome. And again, let's continue a little further as this Jeep is going to go underneath this plane. There's lightning, and that just looks great. Like,
Oh yeah,
I'm excited for all this random weather.
that's awesome. Alright guys, if we stop right here, we can see, first of all, it says hairstyles, 40 out of 76. That's a lot of hairstyles. That's a lot more than games that I've played where the game has evolved like a lot around how your character looks, and this game isn't evolved around just that. Also take note that this is on a PS3, judging by the PS3 controls at the bottom right, and it looks great for a PS3. I'm personally an Xbox fan, but this looks awesome too. And so yeah, and there's also a fire extinguisher over in like the back of the corner on the right if you look by the water cooler. In previous Grand Theft Autos, you can use fire extinguishers, so hopefully that's an element of the game, and you can use that to, put out fires or kill people with it really slow. You'll also notice there's like a deer head and mirrors. If we go up ahead really quick here,
Then you
they
can spend
reflect
petty cash
images in
customizing
real
your character.
time. That's pretty cool. That's something that like puts the game on a whole new level. Is like just the little things like that that make you really like the game. You think it's like awesome because of just something like that. If you go ahead right here, you can see the character
They're out.
is customizing his own shirt, and that's like it's just grouped into basketball jerseys, and there's 17 basketball jerseys. If you remember from GTA 4 General, you can only have like a certain amount of clothes for like one character. What was it, like 5 pairs of pants or something? And
I
then
don't
this
know.
is just
It
like
wasn't enough.
no, and this is only baseball. Oh, baseball jerseys. This is only baseball jerseys. And also, it's like, can you steal stuff like that? Who knows? This RV right here is pretty cool. It kind of comes out like after you see the cops. We don't know if like you came from that RV. Who knows? It's still pretty cool. It just lets you know that there's RVs in the game.
Right, then a little bit after,
Or favorite vehicle.
we're actually now in a mechanic shop. It's I think it's LS Customs where you get all your cars modified. From what I know, that's the only place that you can actually get your car modified. But laying around the shop, you'll see a lot of like mechanic tools and you know, I've been in my fair share of garages, and this looks very good. This looks just like a garage. Now, is it a little bit more glamorous than what I've seen? Yeah, but it's nice. I mean, you got all the tools that you can see. You got stuff on the wall. You got a car lift, I think, right at the bottom of the screen. I can't tell if it's hydraulic or what's going on there, but it's nice. Now, the next scene, we can see that there's this car just drifting around this corner. Again, whoever they hired to drive the cars in this game are just, they hired the right people.
I know, I can't drive the cars like that.
Yeah, and it's great. We can see that if we pause, when the car actually gets really close to the screen, you can see the back part of it and the back tire. I believe that says atomic drag radial tires. So can you buy your own like type of tires that are made for certain things? That'd be pretty dang awesome.
Moving on to this screen right here. This is one of my favorite parts of this video because it's like a nice apartment loft, and it's like, is it yours? You know, this is a multiplayer trailer. So can you hang out with your friends like in your own place in the game? Like that would be so cool. And also
It looks like it.
yeah, oh yeah. And look at like the scenery in the background. Like I want that apartment right there. That's pretty cool. And if you notice in the background too, on the TV, there's actually what looks like a news story. So maybe the TVs in this game are like up to date with what's going on, because like in previous GTAs, I know I keep referencing previous games, but like what was happening in the story mode would be announced on the radio a lot. So maybe they're taking it up a level and like putting them on TVs too.
And after the apartment scene, if we pause right when that guy gets in the car, like right before he gets in there, he's just leaning in, we just see the entire garage. This is what I've been dying to have.
You're just like, oh, it's beautiful.
I know. I remember in the last game, dude, it was just like, you know, you could keep your cars, but you could only have, you know, like 2 cars per spot. If you were a beast, you could do even more. But that was too much. You know, I just wanted to actually like say, hey, oh man, I got this armored van, I got this Humvee, I got this muscle car, I got the freaking General Lee up here. I just want to keep them all, but I can't. So I got to pick and choose. Now you actually have a huge garage.
Oh, yeah.
You can line them up. Like, did this guy park them himself? Because that's just a beautiful parking job he did. But I mean, this looks like a garage made by Bruce Wayne. Epic as heck.
It totally does.
I just want it.
Do you think it's a garage or do you think it's a car dealer?
I'm thinking it's a garage, dude. This guy just walked up and got in this car, so I'm guessing it's a garage.
And also, it looks like there's like an Infernus in the background from GTA 4. Those look like Infernus.
Could it be? You're right. That's like a green Infernus looking. Who knows? But what I want to point out is not just the Infernus, but take a look all the way to the right. That's a lifted truck. That thing is huge. I cannot wait. Oh my God. That's all I'm going to be rolling in. Now wait.
That will be awesome. If we go up a few more seconds, if you take your eyes to the bottom left, you'll notice the little map. It looks much sleeker. It almost looks like it's, you know, slanted, like more of a 3D kind of look. Like you're going forward with the map, and if we go ahead a few more seconds after that, you'll notice awesome planes. This is like my thing right here, and if we pause right here, you can notice the plane is being destroyed. So, racing planes can go down. And on the right of those planes, you can just see a massive, kind of beach bank, and that's probably an ocean. So that's pretty cool. If we go ahead a few more seconds, we can see jet skis. And I haven't seen jet skis before, and it looks like there's markers on the map, so maybe it's like a jet ski race. There's all kinds of races. Maybe that was what was going on with the planes. Who knows? And we're going to go ahead a little bit more, and you will notice that there is a tattoo shop. It's kind of hard to catch, but it's right there. It has a sign going down, so you can probably get tattoos in this game. We've seen that before. And these cars have mud flaps, maybe? Who knows? That's cool. Just some more detail to the cars. And also, we see a cool movie theater. And you can catch it right there. Maybe we can go inside the movie theater. Who knows? If we go ahead a little bit more, you'll notice ATVs racing on top of this like really cool mountain. We've got the sun shining. Just look at that detail. And I wonder if you can customize those too. Who knows? And it looks like the lighthouse that we saw from before is down there on the left. And then maybe there's a more industrial area here on the right. I mean, who knows? But that's cool. You can probably race with the ATVs also. So there, racing is taken to a whole new level with just all kinds of vehicles.
And as we pause, as these two guys are talking, we'll see a sign to the left. Now, from what I can tell, the sign says no weapons, no drug deals, no loitering, and no drinking. On the bottom, it says something like the area is being patrolled and maybe monitored by a camera. So that's interesting to see. Maybe there's more law enforcement besides just enforcing the character not to do stuff or the player not to do stuff. So that'd be interesting to see. And then we do see another air conditioner or radio or whatever that is off on the right. So don't really know what that is. And as we continue, we can see that there's two guys actually parachuting down on this house in what seems like a very rich area of Los Santos. And what's great about this is they're both kind of like guiding themselves and their parachutes with one of their hands, and they're shooting with the other. And I mean, that's just epic. Being able to shoot from a parachute, no pun intended, that's great. And as we look at this, there's an awesome pool. But what gets me is, they're in this house or above this house, and it says take down the target. Now again, you can see the team lives are at 4, but take down the target, like you're going to hunt people in domestic areas, residential areas. So you can tell there's like a wide range of heists and missions that you can execute even in multiplayer, not just single player campaign. And then off on the right in what I guess would be the parking lot, the driveway, there's a white car with two guys running. Now, the guy on the left of the car actually looks like he's pointing towards the parachuters, so maybe this guy's so rich that he can afford, NPC guards. It's pretty cool. But overall, this is a really great scene to look at and kind of realize that there's more to just heists than what you think, and maybe you can even plan them when you're playing in multiplayer.
Okay guys, right here we can see a number of things. First of all, I want to point out that when you see him throwing this grenade, you can see the place is called The Range. And it looks like kind of like a trailer park, I guess you could say. And there's just like awesome jet flying over right about here. And you'll notice it dropping bombs. In general, if I recall, isn't the trailer park like a location in campaign maybe with Trevor?
Yeah, I think so, because I think this is actually his area, and they even
Yeah,
say
so
that
maybe this is where he
it's been
lives.
said in some reviews. Yeah, so this could quite possibly be where he lives.
Right, right. And moving on right here, we'll notice we have like what appears to be a website. So looks like you can get on the internet like you could in GTA 4. That's a pretty cool thing to see. I've actually been wondering that myself. Um, Also, you'll notice it kind of looks like a Mac setup, the way the browser is set up right here. And this plane right here is a Shamal. I think is how you say it. And if you read
That's what I
there,
would say.
yeah. And I think that was a plane in San Andreas that you could fly. Was that one at the airport? And if we read here too, it says you can fly the Shamal coast for coast to coast for just about $50,000 without even a second thought for the ozone layer. A little humor there by Rockstar for the ozone layer. That's pretty funny.
What I think here is you can fly it, from coast to coast for $50,000. Does that mean you can rent the plane? It doesn't really have the option, but I mean you
Oh
can buy
yeah,
it for a whole bunch of
some
pocket cash
online
if you want.
shopping.
Yeah.
Moving on here a second, we notice the Shamal, what looks to be the Shamal, different color too. That reminds me, that is a different color than the one before in this screen. This is kind of a crazy thought though. What if you could customize your own plane? Like we were talking about, it's a different color. And I mean, just look at these unpaved roads down here. That's good for like ATVs or whatnot, dirt bikes, who knows? And just like the vast countryside just looks so awesome while flying. And I can't wait for that.
Alrighty, this next part there's a lot going on here as well. Um, First of all, we see that the yellow car is definitely going down the wrong side of the road. He's probably British, but we're going to give it to him. It looks like a race, so I'll give him that one. But if we look on, past the helicopter and past all that awesome detail to the building on the left, and go and focus on the right side of the screen, there's this neon sign that's lit up, and I can't really see what it says, but that looks like an indication of a shop for me. I don't see why it would be a billboard, but it looks like some advertisement for a shop. And when I was reviewing this video, I was thinking every time that we see shops, they kind of seem littered around the city. We've never really seen a shopping center. We've never seen like shopping squares, prime outlets, not even a mall. Like I was hoping for a mall to be in this game, and I'm still hoping there will be. But I just thought I'd share that the shops really there's not a lot of them put together. And but I could be wrong. We've only seen a few things from the game, and the game's supposed to be huge. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed there. As we go on, we can see that we can make our own matches. Now, this one right here, as we pause, is going to be a race that you can make with your own checkpoints. Later on, we're going to see that you can make team deathmatch matches for traditional online matchmaking. But this one is really cool because there's a lot going on the screen in terms of what Rockstar's telling us. Now, we can already see the level of detail with the trees and the roads, and it looks great, especially given that this is current-gen hardware. But at the bottom, we'll see that there's two things, race length and checkpoints. And then even further below that, we can see camera and, rotating and all that. But what's great is we see race length. So when the player actually puts down a checkpoint, it's going to calculate the race length from checkpoint to checkpoint, and you can use 68 of them there. That's a long race, but I'm hoping they give us more. But still, you can be very creative with 68. And on the top, you can see that you can add a checkpoint, you can cycle between them. to make it easier for you. So this is kind of like a forge mode, I guess.
That's
For like Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, and it seems simple right now, but I'm sure people are going to make some crazy things with it.
Oh, yeah.
If we look on the map too, you can even see the checkpoints there, and the map is actually really expanded. It's not as small as when you're walking around as your character. So that's a nice tool to have, and it looks really great.
Yeah, oh yeah. Moving on to a few more seconds. We can see even like the dust coming off of the bikes while racing, and like that's just another thing about detail that Rockstar put in this game. They've just paid so much attention to detail in this game, and they are awesome because of that. And I'm guessing that you can customize your bikes in this game also, along with a lot of other stuff. As you can see, no two bikes really look the same, so that's probably something that you can do.
Then after these bikes get done with, we can see that we have a player messing with the team deathmatch, or maybe just another match creator, and we can see at the bottom right where it used to have checkpoints and all that. It now has weapons, so you can have 50 weapons on a map. Now, I don't like being limited when I'm making something, but still, that's a lot of weapons. And I don't know. Oh yeah, and I don't really know if your armor is counted into that. So if you get body armor, is that a weapon? Because if so, that's severely limited in my opinion. But still, again, people will do some creative things, and I can't wait to see what they do. And then if we look on the top left, we can see that there's libraries. You can look and see that, it says weapons, and it's in the library of sniper rifles, and it's going to switch to assault rifles. You can look at your type. You can cycle between items. There's a really good amount of features there to make whatever you want to. And going on, you can see that the person placed vehicles. So you also get a not only search from libraries of weapons, vehicles, but you can apparently have vehicles in a death match or other traditional matches, which is
That's
just
pretty cool.
I mean, you see that in big games like Halo and stuff like that, but then Grand Theft Auto, that's a really nice addition. And I honestly, honestly, what they're doing here, dude, I would have never guessed they would have put this in the game. But again, this is just extending the amount of gameplay that people are going to actually participate in. And then on the bottom right, you can have 25 vehicles on a team deathmatch race, or team deathmatch match, and then maybe in a race is what I meant. It's a lot of vehicles, and considering how many people that you can have in a race, but again, that seems sufficient enough for me. A little bit further on, too, after this guy gets done blowing up this helicopter and killing the guy that wasn't even shooting, we can see that, there's a race of mixed vehicles going on here, and that's just great. Maybe I want to be like, hey, Matt, you're a loser with that SUV. I bet you my truck can beat it. So maybe you can have mixed vehicle races, because we've seen before that it's just been like either sports cars or something else, but we've never seen something like this where, hey, it's a motorcycle, hey, it's a buggy, hey, it's just a beast-ass looking truck that I want to drive going on. I think that's great that you can compete with your friends on whatever kind of grounds that you want to compete with them on.
Yeah, oh yeah. A few more seconds ahead, this is our last room that we're going to review. We can see this billboard up here on the left, and I'm going to go over a couple of signs. One of them says Digital Den, sorry. So that's probably like, what, an electronics store? What do you think, General? I would say an electronics store.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Maybe you can buy stuff for computers, who knows, but again, that may be like a place you can go to connect to the internet, something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point, because as you saw, the internet is in this game again. Another sign is Bigger Oral.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like, what? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
Okay,
know.
Rockstar has those just like funny like
Yeah.
signs that they'll put in the game. I don't even know if that is anything, but a nail salon.
And about the bigger oral thing again, you know, Grand Theft Auto was just one huge satire of American culture.
Yeah, it
So
is.
I find that to be humorous. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it says, but again, there's a tree in the way and not exactly doing us any favors.
No, that damn tree. But then we see, like I said before, a nail salon. So who knows? You could go get your nails done if you want to. If
You're Matt.
if you're me, I like to get my nails done, I guess. And then if we go ahead a little bit more, we will notice that the driver of this armored van right here just doesn't get out. And
He's getting robbed, and he's like, "I'm just gonna stay in here."
yeah, I
And they
thought
can
that
have
was
it.
kind of weird and funny, but who knows? Alright guys, that is it for this review. I can't even explain in words how excited I am for this game. It's gonna be... I don't even know. What do you think, General? It's just gonna be amazing.
I have a feeling I'm not even gonna care about getting the new Xbox or PS4.
Right? I'm not gonna come out of my house for like weeks on end. I'm just going to be sitting here playing this. You can expect a lot of GTA videos to come out when this game does come out. Glitches, funny moments, tricks, you know, campaign, Easter eggs, whatever me in general feel like doing. So yeah, this is going to be pretty awesome. You can also expect maybe some more reviews like this for games to come out. Some really in-depth reviews. Tell us what you guys think about them. General put a lot of time into getting this, you know, all this figured out. And so I will catch you guys later. Like and subscribe to my channel. Please, it helps me out. And have a good one. Poop deck, poop deck.
Poop deck! Where's poop deck? I don't know where that is!
I don't know where the
Poop deck!
bathroom is.
Poop deck! He's poop deck! He's poop deck! He's here! Poop deck! Yeah!
Behind you the whole time. Holy crap.